So after completion of basics of interference of light and the mathematical analysis, we have to proceed further and we have to discuss Young's double slit experiment. The importance of Young's double slit experiment in the topic is because of the concept of coherent sources. As we have discussed in the previous lesson that no two real sources is coherent in nature. So the Young double slit experiment provides us that how a single source can be used to form two coherent sources. So in the Young's double slit experiment, Young has taken an opaque cardboard with two slits S1 and S2 and a main source S. The light wave from source S propagates in form of wavefronts, and S1 and S2 are now illuminated by a single wavefront, and as all the particles of a wavefront are in the same phase and emitting waves of same nature, so the two slits S1 and S2 acts as two sources of light and the two sources are coherent in nature. So as a result, a single source can be used to produce two coherent sources S1 and S2. Now the waves from S1 and S2 is propagating in the medium and the waves now superimpose over one another and forms these interference fringes, that is dark and bright pattern of fringes. So this is the importance of Young's double slit experiment, that he has given the idea of coherent sources, how to get coherent sources in reality. So a single source can be used to form two coherent sourses S1 and S2, and that coherent sources can be used to produce interference fringes. So this is explained here. Young's double slit experiment is the experimental demonstration of interference phenomena. A cardboard that is opaque with two slits S1 and S2 is placed at some distance from the source S. Wave fronts propagate by the formation of secondary wave fronts, as we have discussed in Huygens theory of secondary wavelets. Now two slits are illuminated by a single wavefront. The two slits act as sources coherent in nature and start emitting waves. The waves from S1 and S2 proceeds and superposition takes place, and as a result of interference, a pattern of bright dark fringes is obtained on the screen. So this is all about Young's double slit experiment. Later on, Fresnel's biprism and Lloyd's mirror are also used to produce virtual coherent sources. But the importance is of this experiment because the coherent sources can be made by a single source, and that was explained by Young's double slit experiment. So we have got this pattern experimentally in the lab by using this Young's double slit experiment. Now the next aim is to find the expression for fringe width. That is, what is the width of the fringe, bright or dark. So once again, the diagram is of Young's double slit experiment only, but here it is shown in terms of straight lines to get some geometrical idea and mathematical proceedings. So the single source is S. The two slits are S1 and S2. The wave from S1 and S2 proceeds and meet at a point P received on a screen. And this P, either we get a dark fringe or we get a bright fringe, depending upon the condition. If the two waves at point P fulfills the condition for bright fringe, then at P you will get a bright fringe. If the two waves meeting at point P fulfills the condition of dark fringe, you will get dark fringe at point P. Okay, now the distance between the two sources S1 and S2 and screen is capital D. Small d is the distance between two slits S1 and S2. As this O is the middle point, and if we draw lines from S1Q, S2M, then this distance is d by 2. This distance is d by 2. O to P is X. And screen to slit is D. Lambda is the wavelength of light. So lambda is wavelength of light. S1, S2 coherent sources. Small d is distance between two slits S1 and S2. Capital D is the distance between slits and the screen. P is a point on the screen at a distance x from O, where bright or dark fringe can be produced depending upon the conditions. If we draw a perpendicular from S1 to the line S2P, that is S1N, so S1N is perpendicular to S2P, then this S2N is the path difference between the two waves starting from S1 and S2 and reaching to point P. So S1P is the distance traveled by the wave starting from S1, and S2P is the distance traveled by the wave starting from S2. And it is clear from the figure that the wave starting from S2 covers more distance than the wave starting from S1. So this S2N is the additional distance covered by the wave starting from S2, and that is called path difference. So S2N is the path difference between waves from S1 and S2. So S2N can be written as S2P minus S1P. So S2P minus S1P gives S2N. Now using the geometry of the figure, we have to find the value of S2N. So what we have to do, we have to use the concept of geometry. Now you see from the diagram, if we consider the triangle S2PM, this triangle. So this triangle is a right angle triangle, and one can use Pythagoras theorem. So we can write S2P square is PM square plus S2M square. And what is the value of S2M? S2M is D. And what is the value of PM? PM is X plus D by 2. So X plus D by 2. So we can write first that S2PM is a right angle triangle. So S2P square is S2M square plus PM square, means S2M square plus PM square. And the value of S2M is capital D, and value of PM is X plus D by 2. Right? So we can put this. So S2P square is equal to D square plus X plus D by 2 square. This is the equation formed by using the triangle S2PM. Now similarly, we can use the second triangle S1PQ. This is also a right angle triangle, and in this we can write S1P square is equal to S1Q square plus PQ square. And what is the value of PQ? PQ is x minus d by 2. Right? And this is once again capital D. So we can use this also. So S1 PQ is also a right angle triangle. So we can use S1 P square is equal to S1 Q square plus PQ square. And in the same manner, we can write S1 P square is equal to D square plus X minus D by 2 whole square. Now we have got the value of S2 P square and S1 P square in equation 2 and 3. Now using that two equations, we can write S2 P square minus S1 P square is equal to X plus D by 2 square minus X minus D by 2 square, because D square cancels. Now left hand side can be written by using the identity A square minus B square, that is A minus B and A plus B. And right hand side also can be written as A square minus B square as A plus B into A minus B. Now in the first term, D by 2 cancels D by 2. In the second, X cancels X. So we have got this S2P minus S1P is path difference. And the next is S2P plus S1P. And here it is X plus X is 2X. And D by 2 plus D by 2 is D. So this delta can be written as 2xd upon this S2P plus S1P. Because P is very, very near to O. Hence S2P and S1P is approximately equal to D. So in place of this S2P plus S1P, we can write D plus D, that is 2D. And in the next step, we can write delta is equal to 2xd upon 2D, and that 2 cancels 2. So path difference is now xd upon D. So this is the expression for path difference from the geometry of the figure. Now, if we say that at point P, bright fringe is obtained, we have to use the condition for bright fringe at P one by one. In one time we will use the condition for bright, and the second time we will use the condition of dark. So for bright fringe at P, if suppose that at P bright fringe is obtained, and then for bright fringe delta is equal to 2n lambda by 2, that we have already discussed in the previous lesson. So we can write now xd by d, that is delta, is equal to 2n lambda by 2. Then here 2 cancels 2, and we can write x is equal to n lambda d by d. This gives you the position of bright from O. If we put different values of n, we can get different positions of bright from O. So we can write the same expression using the term suffix n. So this xn is equal to n lambda d by d. Now we can put the value of n one by one. That is, first we will put the value of n equal to 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, and so on. And in that way, we can get the different positions of a bright fringe on the screen from O. Okay, so by putting the value of n, now if we put n equal to 0, we get x naught equal to 0. And if we put n equal to 1, we will get lambda d by d. If we put x is equal to 2, n is equal to 2, we get 2 lambda d by d. If we put n is equal to n minus 1, we get n minus 1 lambda d by d. If we put n is equal to n, then we get n lambda d by d. And fringe width is beta. So the distance between two consecutive bright fringes, or distance between first bright to second bright, or second bright to third bright, any, we can have the width of the fringe. So this beta is equal to x1 minus x0, or x2 minus x1, or x3 minus x2, or xn minus 1. If we put the values and solve, you will get for all, you will get beta is equal to lambda d by d. So this is the expression for fringe width if we consider the condition for bright. Now if we put the condition for dark. For dark fringes, the path difference should be 2n plus 1 lambda by 2. This we have discussed in the previous video lesson. So we will simply put the value. So this xd by d, the path difference, is equal to 2n plus 1 lambda by 2 for dark fringes at P. And again solve this. Then you can get x is equal to 2n plus 1 lambda d by d, or xn is equal to 2n plus 1 lambda d by 2d. So this is the formula that gives you the location of all dark fringes for different values of n. So if we put n equal to 0, we get x naught is equal to lambda d by 2d. If we put n is equal to 1, we will get x1 is equal to 3 lambda d by 2d. Then x2 is equal to 5 lambda d by 2d. And similarly, xn minus 1 is 2n minus 1 lambda d by 2d. And xn is equal to 2n plus 1 lambda d by 2d. And again, in the same manner, we can find the fringe width, applying the condition of dark also. So beta is fringe width once again. So this is x1 minus x0 or x2 minus x1 or xn minus 1 xn. And again you substitute the value, you will get the same expression, beta is equal to lambda d by d. So either you take the condition of bright or condition of dark, the fringe width is beta is equal to lambda d by d. So one fringe contains one bright and one dark. So if we have a situation like this, so this is dark and this is bright. So this actually is beta. So beta means a combination of one bright and dark, one set. So either you take consecutive bright or consecutive dark. So between two dark there is a bright, between two bright there is a dark. So beta is equal to lambda d by d. So width of bright fringe and dark fringe are same. So beta is equal to lambda d by d. So in this way we can get that fringe width formed by the interference pattern is directly proportional to wavelength, directly proportional to distance between screen and the source, and inversely proportional to the distance between two slits, two coherent sources. So if the distance between two coherent sources decreases, fringe width increases. If the distance between screen and the source increases, fringe width increases. And if we increase wavelength, as wavelength increases, beta increases. So we have many questions like this. If in a Young's double slit experiment, yellow light is replaced by red light, then what will be the effect on fringe width? Then we can say the red light has more wavelength than yellow light. So as yellow light is replaced by red light, the fringe width increases. So many questions based on these basic things will be asked in the board examination. And I think that's all for interference pattern, right? So interference pattern is once again very simple, and a simple mathematical calculation we have to do to get the expression for fringe width. And this expression is very important for board examination in 5 marks category. So that's all for this lesson. Thank you and have a nice day.